the highest NBA draft pick ever in the history of Iowa men's basketball. More on the selection by the Sacramento Kings of Iowa's Keegan Murray in a moment. Please take a moment to please hit the like button. That helps the video to spread on YouTube. Also hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on, because believe me, folks, if you're an Iowa fan, college basketball fan, college football fan, lots of great content on the horizon, including live shows, call-in shows, videos just like this, and more. So please hit that notification bell. So Keegan Murray is drafted by the Sacramento Kings, and this is about the best case scenario from a selection standpoint. Keegan wasn't going to end up in the top 3, but some people questioned whether he'd go top 5. I was confident that he would either go to the Kings or the Pistons. The Kings pull the trigger and pair him with De'Aaron Fox, who's we know is uber athletic. Harrison Barnes, former Iowa guy as well. Those guys will have a connection. This is an interesting selection, and I want to get into what it means for Iowa here in a little bit as far as exposure, reputation, recruiting, and that kind of thing. But let's look at the Kings roster here. So obviously the guys I just mentioned, De'Aaron Fox, obviously Harrison Barnes, I think, has got a number of years left in the tank. I think he needs the right teammates around him. I thought he was pretty good in Dallas. I mean, I'm a big Mavs fan. I thought he was good in Dallas, but again, I don't think the situation was right for a guy like Harrison Barnes to be that #1 guy. This is an interesting lineup. I mean, Sacramento's been a dumpster fire. We understand that. But now you put Keegan Murray amongst guys like Richaun Holmes, De'Aaron Fox. Will they re-sign DiVincenzo? I believe he's on the free agent market. Davion Mitchell from Baylor continues to develop. And then Domantas Sabonis. What I see when I look at this lineup is length and athleticism. So if they can get enough scoring from these guys, certainly Keegan Murray's going to give Sacramento a boost. They've got to be able to score the basketball. How much can Richaun Holmes get better? What will they do with Jeremy Lamb? Those are all questions, I think, for Sacramento that still need to be answered during the offseason. But Keegan Murray provides scoring. We know from an NBA standpoint, he's probably on the average level as far as athleticism. But look, the guy is not lacking athleticism. Okay, he's not Joe Ingles. Keegan Murray is going to be able to defend at a high level. He's long at 6'8", 6'9". He can dunk over you. He can shoot over you. He turned into one of the better three-point shooters, not only in Iowa, but in the Big Ten Conference. And you just see his marked improvement over the last few years. I think there's still an idea, even though he's maybe older from a draft perspective than a lot of guys who are being taken. We think about Paolo and Jabari Smith and those guys, Chet Holmgren, those guys are really young. But Keegan Murray has made such strides over the last 3 to 4 years, like every year, exponential growth, that if I'm a Kings fan, I'm thinking, boy, sky's the limit. Here's a guy who's going to come in and produce right away from an offensive perspective. He's going to be able to defend inside and out. How much bigger does he get? I don't know, but he's going to be able to defend. That's the key. He's a good shot blocker, and he's going to be able to score. But again, the ceiling is so much higher, I think, for a guy like Keegan, who was a late bloomer. He talked about that on ESPN, him and Kenyon sitting down with ESPN following the selection. He was a late bloomer, so sky's the limit for Sacramento. And let's be honest, Sacramento has had its fair share of, I don't want to call them busts, but draft picks that just haven't really developed the way they would have hoped. And this is an opportunity, as the ESPN brought up, safe pick, but I think it's the right pick. And as far as Keegan's concerned, look, you're the #4 overall pick. You've got an opportunity to you've already made history as it relates to Iowa basketball. He's got an opportunity to be a star at this level. And I think it's the right, even though I don't love Sacramento and the pieces compared to maybe a Detroit who's really young and really talented, I do think Sacramento, from a makeup standpoint, roster makeup standpoint, can actually fit Keegan's game. And Keegan can maybe have a good chance of emerging as a star earlier in Sacramento than maybe another franchise. So I do want to take a moment to tell you about Ascent Nutrition and their algae oil DHA. If you have not already checked out, go ascentnutrition.com. What are you waiting for? Use the code Hawkeyes to order DHA oil and a number of other products to better your overall health. Again, that's goascentnutrition.com and use the code Hawkeyes to receive 10% off your total order from Ascent Nutrition. So congratulations to Keegan. You saw the emotion from Kenyon during the post-selection interview. What raw emotion, just a wonderful moment. And Couldn't be happier. Great family. If you're a Sacramento fan watching this video, Keegan Murray is not going to be a drama queen. I've said this for a long time, and I've been criticized for it. I don't love how the modern day NBA superstar way is, if that makes sense. I don't love the egos that are present in the NBA. I do believe that it's gotten worse than, say, 20 years ago, back during the Tim Duncan, Tracy McGrady, Dirk Nowitzki era, Dwayne Wade era. Those guys had chips on their shoulder, but honestly, the NBA has changed. Keegan Murray is going to be a breath of fresh air. He's not going to be an ego guy. He's not going to be a me first guy at times. He had to learn how to be more selfish in Iowa because of how good he was. I just think, you know, like ESPN brought up, he is the safest, best pick. And from a personality standpoint, you're not going to get a better individual in person than Keegan Murray, an advocate for your franchise than Keegan Murray. What a representative for Sacramento. So what does it mean for Iowa moving forward? Stay tuned, because I'll be producing another video here later this evening on the impact this has on Iowa recruiting, because there is an impact. I do believe there's an impact, and Iowa fans should be excited over the fact that Keegan Murray is, yes, he's in Sacramento, which has been a bottom feeder franchise for quite some time, but it's an opportunity for the spotlight. They have had 2 commits today already on the recruiting trail. We'll go through all of that in a little bit.